everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a little video on how I set up my canoe with a side mount trolling motor. I actually did a video of this about a year ago. Since then I've made a few changes and I just kind of want to do an updated version of how I set it up. I'm still going to leave the old version on there from last year. It was a pretty long video. It was almost 20 minutes long. And I think the first 8 minutes or so is how I set it up, and then the rest of it was actual fishing, so it actually could have just been 2 videos. But I'm gonna just keep it up anyways because the fishing part of it was actually pretty good too, so if anything, you just watch it for that. So I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna show you how I set it up. Alright, so here it is. It's an old aluminum canoe. Been in the family since 1983. My father bought it brand new. Still using it today. But let's just start right back here. This bracket, I made it myself. And it's made out of a, I think I used one board of pressure treated 1x6. And what I did is the motor mount, I screwed it right into this board. And this piece, I ripped it on a table saw. I can't even remember what the actual dimension is, but it just gives, I screwed it into this board here, and I screw that right into that too. It just gives a little bit more support. And then I sanded it all down and varnished it. And it's pretty sturdy, and it works pretty good. And on the other side, the reason why I made 2 of them is I have that they call it a fishing buddy fish finder. So you just clamp it on. I think it runs off 6 AA batteries. Pretty decent little fish finder. Just goes all, I don't know if I can get it all the way in or without hitting the ground, but yeah, it just clicks in like that. And you can turn it. It's locked in. And if you need to take it out, you just give it a little tug and it comes right out. And I made it the same size as the other side, just to make it look uniform. And I also put rod holders here. I don't have them on right now. I just have the mount. There's a Scotty mount there, and right here I had another one, but I took it off. I have it on my kayak actually, but so you can use them just to hold your rods, or you can troll with it too. And my other bracket that I had on my previous video, I just used C-clamps to hold it on, which works fine. But this time I actually just drilled a hole right through the board and right through the lip right here, and I just put a bolt and a nut in, and I just tighten it by hand. If you use wing nuts, it'd make it even easier, but that's good enough for me. I don't believe I had this on the last video. It's a GCI Outdoors sit backer, it's called. And I bought it through LL Bean. They actually make it for like Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, and they'll put their brand on it, but they're all GCI Outdoors. And it's a pretty comfortable seat, and it just straps on underneath. One thing I did here, right here, there was a thwart going across, and I actually just took that right out. Because I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but this is set up for solo fishing. Technically, that's the back of the canoe, and that's the front. But if you're doing it solo, you do it this way, so you're closer to the middle, better balance in the weight distribution. So when I was using it last year, I would have to kind of like put my legs over the thwart, and it was just kind of uncomfortable and awkward. So that's out of the way now, and it just makes it easier if you need to put your paddle down or your fishing rods underneath or whatever. It just kind of opens it up, and the canoe's still solid. It's not like the sides aren't flexing now. It's still just as solid as it was. So, and I can always put it back on if I want. The net, I usually just lay it right on top like that. And I usually, whatever fishing pole I'm using, I do the same thing. Usually I don't bring any more than 3 with me. I'll keep one up right up there in the front. And if I have 2 more, I'll just put them on the rod holders. And up here, that's a 12-volt battery in that box. And the wire, I just have it laying out right now. One thing I actually do is I just use binder clips and put her like right underneath that lip right there, just to get it out of the way, but I don't have any with me right now, so. And the trolling motor, it's an old one. It's over 20 years old. 24-pound thrust. I don't think they make them that small anymore. I have a 30-pound now on my motorboat, so this has kind of become the Canoe's trolling motor now. And I added more wire to it. And by having that battery up in the front, it puts a little bit more weight up in the front, helps balance out the canoe a little better. Last year, the way I did it is I had a battery right underneath my seat. And I just had a spare battery up in the front just to help weigh it down. So this way, it eliminates that battery under the seat, lightens up the canoe a little bit, and it works great. It's a nice, stable canoe. It's balanced really well. And I usually carry a dry bag that usually goes in my kayak too. And there's I usually put rain gear, extra layer of clothing, first aid kit, you know, just stuff that you should have with you, just in case. So that's it. This is it's a pretty just basic, simple setup. If you were ever gonna want to set up for 2 people, you just install the bracket down here instead. This works pretty well. I haven't got the chance to use it a whole lot this year. I haven't done any videos with it or anything. I got a new kayak for this year, plus my motor's fixed on my boat, so I've been using those a lot. But it's a pretty nice little setup. Works pretty well. I've caught a lot of fish in this canoe. It's been around a long time. So if you have any questions on anything I've done, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching. Until next time.